All right, let's check and see if this is all working. Hello and welcome. Today is Wednesday, March the 20th, 2019. And we are going to review our bull market watch, and then we're going to check out some of our March cryptocurrency predictions and see how they turned out. Now I'm experimenting with this sound. There we go. Now I can fade it back a little bit. Before we get going, let's take a quick look at our disclaimer. You can pause the video to read this or click on a link in the description down below. And you're right, old Scott, it is time to buckle up. Let's take a look at these markets. We're looking at Bitcoin here. Down below we've got Ethereum versus US dollar. We've got Litecoin versus US dollar in the bottom right. And then in the top right we've got Stellar Lumens versus US dollar. And today's show, we're going to go through all the cryptocurrencies on Poloniex again, and we're going to grade them all against our trading plan to see if they've changed their bullishness or bearishness index. And as you can see here in the top panel, I've scrolled it all the way back to when we changed over to this version here in January, and we started grading all of the cryptos against our trading plan, and we color coded it. So red and orange are like bad, they're going down, they're sell orders, they're near fails and fails. Gray is neutral, it's in between the bottom formation. It's not going up, it's not going down, it's just hanging out sideways. Then we have yellow and green, which are a yellow is an alert, means that it could be a trading signal coming soon, and green means that it's past our trading signal. And you can see that in January and early February there's a lot of orange, a lot of red, a few stripes of green, and a lot of gray throughout all of the cryptos as we were grading them. And now as we come towards the current date and we're looking at the color coding of it, this gives you an indication of the bullishness of the whole market, where we see all the grays turning to yellows, and then all the yellows turning to green. And these are not really like trading signals, these are just bullishness and bearishness indication. And so we can see the whole market is almost everything is green, which is fantastic. And so when we go through the whole review again today, I'm expecting that we're not going to be seeing a great change in the market, but we're going to continue to review it on a daily basis, because now that we have found the bottom formations and things look like they're going up and we have a bull market just starting, now we have to know how big of a bull market is this actually. Good to see BitShares making a step up there. And so we're going to go through the whole cycle pretty quickly here today. Now, if you're new to the channel, click on subscribe. That would be awesome. If you are returning to the channel, click on the thumbs up button, because there's something that's bringing you back here over and over again. And I'm hoping it's helping you with your profits. It's helping me, and that's why I do it. And hopefully it builds into a larger channel, a larger following, because of you guys clicking like and adding it to your playlists and sending it out on Twitter to let people know that this is out. Put it out in your favorite Facebook group or your Discord group that you have. And if you don't have a Discord group, come and join ours. Could I increase my volume more, please? Where's my volume increaser button? All right, there's a bit better. I'll speak to the microphone better. Let me turn this over this way so it's more in front of me where the microphone is. How is that, Send Crypto? Just set up an ARK wallet. Going to try some staking. I've seen ARK prices really taking off when we're doing our alerts on Binance. Those are fantastic. And I'll pull those up here in a second. But if you are new to the channel, then I recommend... Wow, that was loud music. Thank you, Old Scott. That's fantastic. Old Scott just put in a Bitcoin tip and just about scared me right out of my chair because of the intro music that came along with that. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. I'm going to pull that up in a second. But for you guys who are new to the channel, be sure to go to IntroToCryptos.ca and sign up there. You'll get the free chapter from my book, and you can download this spreadsheet that we're using here every day. And I'd like to give my appreciation to Old Scott, who just tipped $23. Yesterday, he tipped 53 cents. He tipped $15 the other day, and $2 a while ago. Crypto Trader Vader tipped $2.50. And these are Bitcoin tips, and I appreciate those greatly. They go into a central wallet that's a long-term hold and keep there. So thank you very much. That's fantastic. And a big thank you to GBU Professor Wally for his support in this. Now, back to the show. This is Ardor. Ardor we watched for a long time as an alert. It popped up into a buy, and now prices have come back and settled in here and given us another chance to be able to review it and say, should I be holding this one if I'm not already holding it? We're going to go through all these, and there's just going to be tons of holds. They're continuing to be holds because we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here, and this is when we said it turned green, which is a hold. You could purchase it at that time if you have a good risk control rules in and you know this company. You've done your due diligence. This chart pattern would help you know when to get in. But there hasn't been anything that says get out yet. This is what we're watching for now, is when to get out. So if you're jumping in and out of this market and you're thinking, can I get back in? You're jumping in and out too much. You could consider that one of the biggest early mistakes that you make in trading is that you're over trading. You're second guessing yourself. You're not having a system that you really believe in yet that you can sit on. You can make a trade and sit. So this is easy for me to mark as a hold, and I would be sitting on that whole time. As it turned green, and I grabbed a piece of it. I'm not getting out until it tells me to, and we'll talk about what the get out signals are as we go along, because put it in the chat. Yes or no? Is getting out of a trade one of your difficulties? Yes or no? A super chat from Professor Wally. Whoa, thank you. Fantastic. Thank you. That supports the channel. You know, that goes directly to my yoga fund. I go to hot yoga probably 36 classes a month. So some days I go twice. Some days, today I didn't go. And I'm also doing some weight training. So your tips here help me stay in shape. Keeps me sanity. Thank you. Now I'm lost. Okay, BTC ABC. I don't know. I haven't followed these guys very much. I kind of don't like forks of a fork, but whatever. It's just different technology. It made a 1, 2, 3 bottom. It did break out right there, so it could be still considered a green in this. So it's just bullish, right? It's not something I'd be trading. I'm just saying it's bullish. Bancor Network Token. So this one is also bullish because it's broken above these levels. It's not really a trading pattern that I can sink my teeth into. It's not part of the trading patterns that we are studying and doing anything with. BCHSV, I apologize, these things were out of order, but look at those 2 mega candles to the downside. We had that as a cold fish last time, so I'm going to leave it. Once I make it as a cold fish, I have to decide if I'm going to immediately turn that to a gray afterwards, because you'd only turn it into a cold fish one day and you're out of it, right? That's what this means, is that we're trying to get out of that market. I have to think about that. BCN. Where's my YouTube chat? Hey, Doug. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for the consistency in making all these great videos. You know, the consistency is kind of a compulsion. It's kind of an addiction to the whole thing. But I made a killing in 2017. More money than I made in like 10 years of my life, maybe 15 years of my life. No, 10 years of my life. In that 1 year, I made 10 years of income. because of trading cryptocurrencies properly, and I made a $500,000 mistake. So I'm studying this really, really, really seriously because I want to get fantastically rich, and you guys are helping me, like Professor Wally's paying for my yoga while we're doing this, and that's fantastic. And you guys are keeping me consistent so that I come and do this over and over, and it helps me with my success. So I'm grateful that you guys are here, really. Now, BTC is our next one, and I've got to go over to Ethfinex. So BTC, I'm going to mark it as a hold. I'm going to mark it as going bullish. I'm going to say that it's probably going to make a very strong move here suddenly. I've been predicting this on the other Bitcoin channel for a while now, expecting that it's going to be coming up. I don't know if it's going to hit 5,100, if it's going to hit 6,100, but it's going to make some serious moves here. And what I've been doing is just as a general Fibonacci extension from the number 1 point to the number 2 point of this bottom formation. And that gives us a general scribble on the chart idea of maybe it'll come up to here and retrace and then hit here. Maybe it'll come up to here and then retrace and then go to 6,100. This is going to be a very cool chart to be watching as it breaks out and goes. It's just phenomenal to see it building up like this. Back to Poloniex, back to BitShares, and we've been calling this one a hold for a while. It's moving up and pulling back, moving up and pulling back, and that's all normal breathing in and breathing out basically as the market's doing its thing. Then it gives us this nice channel, and we can watch this channel now that when it gives us a top formation inside this channel and it starts to fall out of that channel, we know it's time to be getting out. So if it were to do something like this and make a top formation and then start to come out of that channel, we know this would be our exit point, and we would be watching for that. This is what the channel is going to give us now, is an eye on when to get out of it. Hold. And this is I didn't see anything in the chat. So AOL Chandra says not anymore after the course. So AOL Chandra took the course a year and a half ago and has been going through the course every time that we do it, because as a lifetime member you get to go through the course over and over and over and practice this stuff. It doesn't come quickly. And so after the course, AOL Chandra doesn't have the trouble of not taking profits. But a number of people who have been in the course have said that that's their most difficult thing, is when do I get out of it? I love my cryptos so much, I just want to hold them forever. And you never want to get out. You never know when to take profits. So if this is your difficulty, then subscribe. Click on like. You're going to find this stuff as we go along and along. This chart is still an alert. It is floating along sideways for a long time now. Like, that's a long time to be going that short of that tight of a price range. So when it moves, it's going to be a quick and good one. Clam, we had it as an alert and it turns back into a hold. So there's a whipsaw for you. And speaking of whipsaw, I want to put my moving averages back up here. So here we're looking at the 12-hour bars. Our moving average crossed over and gave us our buy signal. And we did well on this buy signal for my own part. I did well on this buy signal. But then I sold out here, which kept me out of the whipsaw. But I should have done nothing because the moving averages are nowhere near crossing over. What was I doing selling out that early and expecting to do what? Anyway, I took the money and I put it into Ripple, and it's pretty much the same value as it is now. We'll just take a look at that later. But the idea of when to get out, part of me wants to get out only when these 12-hour, the exponential moving averages on the 12-hour bars, when they cross over. And some of me wants to get out when that was correct. When we're on the 4-hour bars. So when the 4-hour bar moving average crosses over, then I want to be getting out, which leads me to get jumping in and out a lot more often. So I want to at least comment on erroring on the side of waiting for the 12-hour exponential moving average to cross over. And we'll study that over and over as we're going through these charts, because it's something that I need to burn into my own psyche as to when to get out. I'm getting a couple of them I got out too soon. So I'm repeating that lesson for myself. Civic looks very much like Ardor in the chart formation, that it made this great formation and it broke out and pulled back and consolidated right above that breakout point. You know, we talk about this all the time, that you can buy on the breakout or wait for it to consolidate, come back and retest that and buy on strength. So there's a really great example of it. And I love to see them play out and display themselves after you talk about them. You know all these chart patterns, you're studying them, and after you lay out the chart pattern, it comes to be, there's our little sled dog pattern. So this is a hold, but it's like a double hold. You could do another hold there. That's another buy signal shaping up. Old Scott asked something about the spreadsheet. Oh, I've got it out of whack, do I? Thank you. I appreciate that. Now we can continue to follow it. I rolled my mouse. GBU Professor Wally. This is Gunbot University, Professor Wally. There's an argument to be made about getting out when the exponential moving averages start to converge, and not just when they cross, which is part of the 1, 2, 3 formation. Learn, earn, don't get burned. So when the EMA spread starts to shrink instead of to grow. Now let's go back to CLAM and jump into our EMA convergence and divergence. So this is the EMAs converging. Here they're getting closer together. This is them diverging, getting further apart. So as they're diverging, the market is accelerating. As they're converging, the markets are decelerating. And if you are tuned into it enough, you can be jumping in and out on those. And I want to, especially in the long term, I want to continue to review this when to get out on all of these markets as they're going up. We're going to continually review when to get out, pretty much as we did all the way since September, as we were going through this pretty much day by day by day, talking about these bottom formations. When do we get in? When do we get in? When do we get in? Okay, now we're in. The next thing we're talking about is when do we get out? 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 Great hobby. Now, we're jumping down to Decreed now. So Decreed did some great stuff. It's not giving me the nicest bottom formation because it's got lower lows here. It's kind of a double bottom. But now that it's come up and pulled back, it's giving us an area that if it goes above that, it would be a buy signal. I'm going to leave it as an alert, but it could be neutral. I'm going to put it as neutral. Digibyte. So Digibyte was a happy one because we saw this great formation, caught it just as it took off. It's pulled back, but I'm going to leave it as a hold. And this is part of those discussions now where we're looking at it on the 1-day bar. Okay, let's go to the 12-hour bar. So we still have the moving averages have started to come closer together. Converging. Get the right word. So they're starting to converge. Now, you have to study this over and over to get to know how close of a convergence, how much of a convergence do you start to take your profits on this. And if we're in a long-term trend, the Decreed does not have the 1, 2, 3 all the way on the right. Decreed. Let me grab this. It has lower low here. So this is the new number 1 point. Right there is the new number 1 point. So then this would be the number 2 point if I exclude the wicks. This would be our potential number 3 point, and that would be our number 1, 2, 3. We do have the moving average crossover already. We do have the downtrend line break. So then the next thing we're waiting for is for it to actually cross above. And the simple trading plan, there are variations of it, but the simple trading plan really is waiting for the market to actually turn and change direction, and then you get in. So it's not trying to catch the bottom, and it's not trying to catch the top either. In fact, it errs on being a little bit late getting into the market after it's turned, so the tide has already come in, then we get in. And then it errs on getting out after the top as well. So if we were to look at this as a top formation and the moving average is crossing over, we're getting out after the top. We're getting in after the bottom. Get my scribbler back. And we're getting in after the top. So our profit is this middle range. Even though the price looks like, oh, wow, you could have made this much, our profit is actually, at the end of the day, I hate that saying, at the end of the day, that being said, those two of the most waste of time things to say. This is where our profit and loss, our profit would be taken out of this kind of move from our trading methodology that I'm working at here. Where's my... So hopefully that helps broaden the scope of what we're looking for with the 1, 2, 3 bottoms. There are variations that we go into, but that's the overall scope. That's the broad basic thing. And if you just stick with that as a lifelong habit and keep this money working for you and keep adding to it $20 a week and keep that money growing, you will retire wealthy. You will retire in the top 15% of our population if you simply put away $20 a week and do what we're doing here, watching the markets to make that money grow. You never take it out. Okay, pardon me. Dogecoin, I'm still bullish on it, but it's really taking its time. Bitcoin has really been moving up here considerably, and Doge has been laying flat, which means it's losing ground against Bitcoin. So I'm going to mark it as neutral again. Yeah, backtesting the simple trading plan to see how the different exits would have affected profit could make thousands of % different. Yep. Richest Man in Babylon, really good book. But Ben, I learned that that $20 a week thing from Bob Proctor in his 1982 seminar called Born Rich. And he told the story of, and I'll continue on with the charts while I tell this story. He told the story of, do you spend, waste, or... Look at this, very close to making a top formation. Somebody called it the Starbucks factor. Do you spend or waste $20 a week? Do you spend $20 a week on coffee, stopping in for a $3 latte a few times a week? This one I'll mark as a hold. If so, then you have all it takes to retire wealthy. If you take that $20 a week and you put it away, $20 times 50 weeks a year, that makes $1,000. Ethereum Classic is a hold in the bullishness index. So if you were to take $20 a week and you started to put it away, at the end of a year you'd have $1,000, but you'd also have the habit of taking that $20 and putting it away, and you would have the habit of seeing that grow from week to week. You'd have the habit of putting that money and protecting it against all of the needs and wants that come up throughout a year as you are saving that money. So at the end of the year, you have $1,000, which is pretty good. Factum is next. And it is making a bottom formation. I'm going to still leave it neutral. Now, if you took that habit of putting away $20 a week, by the end of a year, it would be a habit. It would be something that you would do without thinking about it. When the week came up on Friday, you would fold up another $20 bill and you would put it in your stack. Now, if you did that for your whole life, for your whole working life, 40 years at $1,000 a year, you would have, $40,000. But if you had taken that money and you put it and you gave it to somebody who knew how to grow it, and they could grow it at 10% per year, you wouldn't have just $40,000 at the end of your retirement. You would have something like $400,000 because of the effect of compound interest. Now, if you found somebody who could make 12% per year, you would have something like $850,000, not just your $40,000. And all you ever did was put away $20 a week. Now, if you found somebody who really knew how to grow money, like us who are trading cryptocurrencies, and we can get gains better than 14% per year, 14% per year compounded for that $20 a week will turn out to be $1.2 million by the end of your working career. The tragic thing is, 85% of people retire broke and requiring social assistance or their pension or help from family in order to pay their bills. And this is the wealthiest time in human history, and we have people retiring without wealth because nobody taught them this trick of $20 a week and how important those little $20 are. So if you can discipline yourself to put $20 a week into cryptocurrencies and hold them, you're probably going to get to be a millionaire a lot sooner than the person who puts their money away and tries to get 14% interest per year. Kyber Network token is probably going to be going much higher than this. So yeah, great, but put yourself first. Yeah, you've got to pay yourself first. You've got to put that money away and then make that money work for you. Money doesn't grow on trees, it grows on charts. And we are learning the most powerful tool for making money work for you at the most powerful time in mankind's history for the opportunity to make unexpectable amounts of money through these cryptocurrencies. We've already seen it that if you were to put $10 into Bitcoin in January of 2011, it was 25 cents a coin. Nice, easy time to be doing math on it. So $10 would have bought you 40 Bitcoin. 40 Bitcoin is hundreds of thousands of dollars right now. $150,000 right now. $160,000 from $10 to $160,000. From $10 to $160,000. So now if you put $20 a week into cryptocurrencies and you diversify your portfolio and leave it sit there, what's that, from 2011 to 2019? That's 8 years. How old will you be in 8 years if you don't do this kind of investment plan? You're still going to be 8 years older and you're not going to have any money, or you'll have just what you've earned. But we are in such an amazing opportunity right now. It's crazy. So this is another hold. Look at all these. Are just continue as I go through. There are holds and holds and holds. This one's not on the chart, LPT, but it's also a hold. Litecoin, of course, it's a hold, but this is another one. Let me clear that I'm watching for that top formation on. I'm watching for, there's my lullaby. I'm watching for this trend line break and a top formation to show up. So all the time, as soon as it comes down to these levels, I'm continually watching for that and checking the indicators and checking against the other coins, going to see what's Bitcoin doing, what's Ethereum doing, what's Litecoin doing, watching them all, what's Stellar doing, why is it doing this? Keeping a close eye on those top formations right now. It's a hold for now, but it's time to be vigilant on that. MadeSafe coin, I think this is one of those that's going to be life-changing, but whoops, but not today. Still neutral. Mana, this is still a hold. It made a nice bottom formation, broke out, tested those levels, gave us another entry, and now it's giving us an ascending wedge triangle at the same time. So this ascending wedge triangle, after this bottom formation and these retests and break higher, we're going to see this stage more. It's going to be going from 12 to 17. We can just stand this right up and make it 12 to 1650. I think, anyway, a really great, nice chart. It's really building. The project must be catching on and doing well. Nav, another one that I'm so happy with the way we followed this triangle all the way down over the days and saw this turn from yellow to green, and it stays green, stays a hold. Namecoin, I can't tell you what it's doing, but it looks, it's still a hold. You know, it's just a bullishness index. I'm not actually trading it. This isn't a coin listed here anymore. NXT could be. We've got it marked as a hold because it's done what it's supposed to do, but it actually could be taking off from here. Could be going up. I don't know why, but OMG, I'm very happy with this one. I bought some quite a long time ago, so it's going to go up a while before it gets back to where I bought in on it, but that's okay. Omni making a bottom formation here and is a hold. Pascal. Another one of those triangles. Had a great triangle, nice breakout, remains as a hold. I'll be able to see what the chat's going on here. Okay, yeah. The more I'm watching these charts, as you go through them, each one, an EMA spread signal, instead of a crossover, would have caught much earlier buy and sell and netted more profit. Yeah. I'm open to check that out and see how it goes and see how I can measure it. One of the reasons I like this trading plan is that I really can take 10 minutes a day to go through everything and make my decisions. And I don't have to be quite as accurate. Okay, PPC. Let's go this. Back to neutral. But I will definitely be interested in that. Quantum. Quantum did a nice move up and it remains a hold. Could be going up, probably going up from here. Rep has got a great chart formation. It built up and now it's got this bowl shape. I think it's going to be staging another large move up from here. But we'll have to wait and see. It's already like a bullish move. And here's another one that I got to mark this as very like... well, it's already a hold. I want to mark it like an alert, like a new alert, because it looks like it's going to be staging up from there. Coin, very good. Nice to see this descending, and then it's turning around and giving us a change. I've already marked it as a hold, although it's not like a buy signal that I would have made a trade on yet. SNT, not very much history on this, but it is building and going higher. We said we would buy when it went above this level. Then it made this triangle that we identified and said, when it breaks above that, we're getting in. So this was our initial switch over to the hold pattern because of those formations. Steam. Dum, dum, dum. This one's a hold. We were watching this, such a great pattern earlier. So once it makes that, then for my own trading plan, I'm wanting to sit now that I have them as a buy. If I had diversified here and purchased these, then there's nothing for me to do. I would look at this in 10 seconds if I looked at it for 10 seconds and say, okay, nothing to do. Look at it for the next chart, nothing to do. Nothing to do, nothing to do. It's in profit. I've got my stop above my entry. There's nothing to do but let the market tell me how correct I am. This is where trading is frustrating because I've been in this position before. This is a hold as well, though very tenuous to market as a hold. I've been in this position a few times where, you know, you've got all of your money allocated and there's so many great trades lining up and you don't have any more funds to put into them. I'm going to mark this as a hold. It's bullish enough to mark it as a hold now, just that one tick extra. So we're full on bull here now. Full on bull. This one's bullish and pulled back and now showing strength again. Wow. VTC, I don't have to look at it, right? From my own trading, I would just take a split second and go, yep. And nothing to do. Counterparty. It is making a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here. We're looking at the 12-hour bars and the moving averages have crossed. There's a cross there. So tomorrow, this could be a buy if it breaks above those levels. Wow. And I just got to do it because the chart says it. There's been so many times I've done a trade, the chart says that I just do it, and it turns out better than, like, it's against what I'm thinking, but it says to do it, so I do it. XMR, it's got to be a hold. I'm pushing it. I'm going to make it an alert still, but I'm very bullish on this one. Let me clear this off and zoom out. Very bullish on this chart. I was bearish a while ago, and I've changed my mind. XPM. We've marked this one as bullish because it's come up out of this. I'm looking at the 1-day bar. That's what gives the moving average. And it crossed over. So here's that a second example of the chart says the pattern. I do the trade, and then I figure it out afterwards. This is continuing down. Strange to see such a divergence where, well, actually it's a switching because it's going down with Bitcoin as Bitcoin's going down, and then Bitcoin's going up, and this is continuing to go down. So I'm going to continue to mark it as a near fail. We'll see what comes of that in time. Zcash. All right, it did give us a 1, 2, 3 bottom. We are looking at the 12-hour. It did cross over. I'm going to have to move this twin to a hold. It's not a trading signal, right? But it's just a bullishness index. It looks bullish from this move. This one was an alert. And that gives us the run through of the coins here. Let's go back to our cover so we can see the bullishness and bearishness index as I copy and paste this across. Copy, paste. Ta-da! So it ticked back up here for the number of holds. The number of alerts have gone down because they've all turned into holds. We have just one that is a near fail. One that's a near fail, 2, 3, 4, 5 neutrals, one that's a cold fish that could be neutral. Pretty bullish markets. So really, at this time, diversifying into pretty much, you could say pretty much anything would probably turn out to be profitable right now in the cryptocurrencies. However, earlier in the month rather, we did some predictions. We did a short list of predictions, and we came down to what we figured were going to be the top coins for the movement. So we said VIA, Steam, and Factom. So we did pretty good with Steam and VIA, but Factom was a fail. So then we also said Digibyte, which we did pretty good on. GNT hasn't really gone so well. Kyber Network Token has done really well. Siacoin didn't move. What's the other one? Strat. It hasn't really moved yet, even though we called it. What's another one that we named? So now then we're getting into VTC. Nailed it. Viacoin, you bet. STR moved a little bit. Storage, yes. Got it. Really did some really great predictions here. However, I'm going to bring up the trading alerts package over on IntroToCryptos.ca. The detail that we're doing here is really basic. We're going through and we're color coding if it's bullish or bearish, if it's an alert or not. And it really does follow along with our trading plan. And it works fantastic, depending if you have good risk control rules. However, our spreadsheet is down right now. So some of the other predictions that we did here, we were saying BitShares, Factom, GNT. This was from a different study that we did. OMG, Pascal, Strat, and XEM. And these are not really the ones that have been taking off first on Poloniex. Now, if you have any markets you'd like me to take a look at, you can put them in the chat, and I'll go over to the chart and pull it up. Where did YouTube go? All right, so there's our bullish bearish index. And, you know, at this time for this type of trading, there's a lot of nothing to do. If you haven't laid out a portfolio and you are not holding now, waiting to see how much profit this is going to turn out to be, then going through and studying these things will be helpful, so long as you add in that trading plan with your studies. Let's see if this pulls up here. Not right now. The magic of live. Let's take a look again. So we're just sitting on the edge of our feet, really, the edge of our toes, waiting for what is Bitcoin going to end up doing here. Let's drag this one over. I think it's a longer time frame. 4-hour time frame. We're at massive bottom formation here. Massive bottom formation in Stellar. Huge, well, not as massive in Litecoin because it's already pulled up quite a bit, but now we're coming to a much larger 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's got lots of room to pull back and consolidate before it goes higher. Ethereum has a much nicer 1, 2, 3 bottom formation building up here over time as well, much like Bitcoin. Beautiful chart patterns. So we may not break out right away, but it's looking to me like we are going to be stepping up fast and hard here. Let's take a look at RVN USD. You got those hard ones for me. I'm going to be doing more in USD, but I'm going to go over to coinsignals.trade. So I can bring up RVN USD. Ravencoin USD. Ravencoin US dollar. Hey, thanks for stopping in, GBU Wally. Great to have you here. And I will enjoy the yoga. I am having trouble here. RVN BTC. Fail. What's going on? It's giving me this RVN. Okay. All right. RVN US dollar. It didn't give me a trading signal I could do anything with. Even RVN Bitcoin. It came down here and turned around and just blasted. There was no bottom formation. And those kind of trades I miss. Because as it starts to go, I think, well, it's going to pull back and give me a bottom formation. And it just keeps going. So I never get these coins. There's been a few in the history that as they come and blast off, I just go, okay. I'm not jumping on a moving train. So I miss it. There's a few of them. KCS, however, I did not miss. I didn't buy much of it, but because I am so lucky as to have this channel, I have a whole bunch of people, and it's a small group of really good traders who are following around here, and I really love it. I get so much help of information from people and tips of information that it's really been great for me. So one of our members was talking about KCS, and I went over to check it out, looked at and then I reflected against what is BNB doing, KSC, KuCoin shares. If we compare business plans, this is the very same utility token business plan as Binance BNB. So BNB has just outperformed fantastically. This is probably going to as well. So I was fortunate to get into this at a really crazy low price. And I just put a few bucks in from my at-home mining. So it's not making that much money. Put it in there, I don't know, $27 I think I pulled out of the mining. Put it in there and it's well more than doubled now. We'll see what that $27 turns into. And you can bet as this goes on and over the period of time, my $27 will turn into $270, and then it'll turn into $520 by the time $540 by the time KuCoin gets back up to $20 per, which is pretty amazing. It's pretty cool. It's not going to change the world, but those kind of percentage gains over and over and over again really do turn into $1 million portfolios. And we are on the path. Yeah, KSC or KCS, it's one of those ones that's not given a pullback. And I didn't wait for a pullback. I just bought at the market. I just took my 20 odd bucks and bought it. And I do that with a lot of different coins. I really believe in that $20 a week campaign to just continually putting it in and putting it in and putting it aside and leaving it. NAS, Scott asks for. NAS. Where is NAS? Binance. NAS has made its bottom, given us the bottom formation breakout right above these levels. It didn't really come back to test them. It came back to test these levels, and now it's consolidating. And over a longer period, it's looking great. I don't know enough about the project, and so I'm kind of handicapped because I can't rely on the prices to tell me how the project was taken up by investors over time. When we have a chart that runs back to 2015, you can see what did it do through the big run of 2017, the run of 18. There was a few different bull runs that you can look back on and get a gauge of when are the investor confidence shifting in this project. So I don't know on this one, so I would have to start off really small. And I would have to assume that I'm going to be trying to hold this for a good trend. So I'd start off with a small position and be waiting for, try to keep the scale proper here and give myself room to draw. Waiting for it to come up to the 50% level of the drop that's done before. So this is up halfway from the top to the bottom of what it's done in the past. Then I wanted to come back to halfway, maybe even to these support and resistance from the past, and make a consolidation pattern here. Then I'm going to be adding on. So I could buy here and add on here. And that would be my plan for a long-term building position that if it, 3 years, I don't know how, but I'll let the market tell me. And this is the kind of plan I have in advance for the long term. So it's a very little action type of trading plan, which is my favorite. Put it on, come back in 6 months, take it off. And I spend a lot of time making these videos and talking about it and categorizing things and doing spreadsheets and doing all sorts of things for our members and our trade alert subscribers. Something's up in my spreadsheet. It's not loading up properly. And that about wraps it up now. Let me check the chat again now. ENJ was also good. Yes, I made some nice profits off of ENJ. And took those and reinvested it. So we'll see how that works out. I've already sold out of this. And it'll be one that I'll chastise myself for later because the moving averages didn't come near to crossing over. Even though they're starting to change angle. Go to the 4-hour bars and the moving averages still haven't crossed over. So I may have gotten out of this way too early because we're not seeing any top formation that's confirming yet. And this will be an ongoing study because it is making a potential top formation. Could have. But for my own part, jumping in and out and in and out and in and out drives me crazy, takes up too much time, and I find myself taking a whole long string of small losses. Whereas if I would have done nothing, my profits would have been much better from my initial entry to where prices are. So I've learned to just sit on my hands, not jump back in and out. And this is a really good practice for me here too with you guys to make me, be more vigilant on my trades. NEBL is another one that I have a little bit of, although it was hard for me to call it Nebel, which is sort of what I read when I see it. All right, so now when we start to zoom out to some history, we can see that it's spent a long time down here. And it's coming up to October prices. if we're looking at Binance, I've got a new sheet. I still have to work on it, so I'll show it later. A new sheet that goes through all of the trades on Binance. And it's a special report for people who are subscribed to the cryptocurrency trading signals package. I'm going to take a second to try to get this spreadsheet to reset. And while I do, the new report that is coming out right away shows categories of different cryptocurrency markets on Binance specifically. We have a category of markets that came down and made bottoms in August, September, and October. And then in November, they broke down to new lows in December, January, February, March, and they are pretty much now up to where they were back in October, November. And they look like they're ready to break above it. So this is one of the categories of coins. Then we have another category of coins, if I change color, that have also come down. They've made lows much the same, whatever their pattern was. They came down in December, and now they are making 1, 2, 3 patterns that are looking like they're ready to break out. So we've got this category of coins and this category of coins that are making great trading patterns that look like they are ready to be taking off right away. And this is one of the reports that's coming out for the alert subscribers. And the reason I brought that up is because I was trying in my mind to categorize where does this one fit into that? Because what I'm seeing here is like a double bowl. We've got this bowl and then we've got this bowl. So a break above these levels is going to be very huge for this market. And it's probably, I would give it a run all the way up to there. Once it starts to go, it'll come underneath this support and resistance from the past. And there's not much, like it didn't hesitate much in between these levels here. So we've got this whole range that it could be ready to go up really quickly. So when you zoom in, you think, wow, it's already done a big move. But it's so important to have the long-term perspective when you're first starting out. When you're first starting out analyzing a trade. Now let me get the coin market cap data over here. And check the YouTube feed. ENJ. So good to have you along, Bart. Thank you for your question. Has anybody else got a market you'd like me to take a look at? I am trying to pull up the crypto signals trading package examples to show the recent trades that we've made, the profitable trades that we've made. But the spreadsheet is giving me troubles. There we go. It's crazy right now because we've been watching for these bottom formations for months and we've been slowly collecting them as they've been shaping up. And so some of these are just enormously wonderful examples. ENJ up 343% from our entry. And if we take a look at this is the signal, the original signal that we gave, and take a look at that chart. That was the 18th of February, I'm sorry. The 18th of February, 18th day of the second month. We saw this consolidation pattern, and it's clear. You can see it just as clear as can be. It's a nice bottom formation. We see so many charts that are making this right now. We identified the entry point and where our emergency stop loss would be. And this has gone crazy since then. ENJ. So that was from February, where we saw this pattern shaping up, put our orders in place, and bang. Now the great thing is with this trading alerts package is it is following the strategy of the moving average crossover for an exit. And so I may get out of my trades in or out faster or slower, but the trading system itself here stays according to the plan. So here we're up, theta is 139%. We've been holding that for quite a while. You can see since the 22nd of December, 108%. So it's great to be able to have nailed all of these trades way back in January and February and December and still be holding them for these enormous profits. But really, if you would have had this system and practiced it in September, October, November, by the time December came around, January, February, you're ready to put this into action. You would have been ready to be capturing these kind of trading profits. But even if you're starting out now, and we change the dates around here to go back to the most recent ones, look, we're up 27% on that Viacoin trade. And here is the clear, specific trading plan that we gave with our entry level, our exit level, our stop loss level, and then we monitor that and we talk about it throughout the days as it is unfolding. So XEM, we're up 3% already. VET, gas, MTL, all of these really recent trades that are all profitable. They are fantastic chart patterns, and there's a whole whack of them more that are still in fantastic positions. Even though we've got them as holds here, many of these markets are still lining up as great entry points for some of these markets. So OMG, we're up 10, 12%. NAV, we're up 5%. Really fantastic. So if this is something that would be helpful to you and you're struggling and you want to have a guide to go through all the stages of your trade, our alerts program is a fantastic deal for you. Come and check it out. I'd be happy to give you any kind of more information you'd like. Come and join our Discord chat and check out more about it. ENJ, what a great trade that. Let's go back to the 4 and zoom in to see what's happening right now. Now I'll double check our chat here. How about Dent? Sure, I'll check Dent in a second. Hey, SWAT Squad, good to have you here. Stellar has some great fundamental news, but it hasn't exploded in price like everyone kind of expected. Yeah, I know it's actually one of my bigger holds, and I've been wished out of my bigger hold would have been Litecoin way back, but I loaded up on Stellar at about the same time back here, and Litecoin's done fantastic. Stellar, not so stellar. But it's still in the plan. It's still doing great. I would not be worried about it. I'm profitable on that, and I'm holding it, and I think it's going to continue up. This is all quite normal out of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Really good stuff. So no worries there. Let it consolidate a bit. It'll continue on its trend, and it'll do great. Dent, I like the chart on it. Somebody commented that they figured Dent would be one of the leading coins in time. Let's give it a special D's. D-E. Dent BTC. Wow, that's not looking good. Not looking good at all. Coming down to new lows for any market at all is bad. So if we were to be doing the same type of trading signals here down below, if we were doing this for Binance and just doing it color coded, Dent would be a fail. It would be an alarm, actually. If any market is going down to a fail or a near fail now, that's an alarm. And if we're watching any more a cascade of them, more of them start to go down to these lows, that would be freaky. So I need to look at Dent on coin signals. Why is that? Dent, not good. So if I go to Dent US dollar, also pretty bad. But at least we don't have lower lows. So we're not down to brand new lows, we're just down to as low as it's been. So not looking good. It's got some pre-pump candles, but it's not something I would be expecting to be taking off right away, but in the past it has, right? Out of nowhere, from flat, off it went. And really went too. Wow. And then right back to flat. So, it's okay to have $10 in it as an insurance policy. If it takes off and does something like that again, then you're insured to profit from it. But no, it's not looking too good. It's a pump and dump, it seems like, and that's a huge pump. That took quite a while to unfold. That's more than a month of pumping before collapsing back down. So I don't know what's up with that, but it's doesn't grab me as my favorite for sure. Poor old dent. Dum dum dum. Dent. Zoom in on Bitcoin. And it's a slow process for this to be taking off, but I think that it will. You just continue to be watching it, and look at the stellar lumens pulling back and consolidating, showing a little bit of strength here. I think they'll all be taking off. It's sort of like watching slow motion golf right now. I'm sure that there'll be a point where that club hits the ball and things really spark and start to be big movements. But for now, it's time to diversify and sit on your hands. A lot of hand sitting. And then we'll scan these daily to see where those top formations are coming in. Where should we get out? Where should we be adding on? We'll talk through the whole entire trade. And if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you want to know this whole entire process for the trade without having to do these 1-hour sessions every single day for the next 8 months, instead, if you'd like to learn all this stuff and crush it down into 3 weeks so that you learn all of the perspectives of getting ready for the markets and being ready for the dangers of trading, if you go over all of the tools that we use in trading in the second week so that you get all of the specifics that you need as tools for the project prepared, like a carpenter would get all his tools ready. And then the third week we go through the whole plan, how to put it all together from start to finish so that you have that whole picture in your mind and that perspective. Then you get mentorship for lifetime access to implement that. Take the course over and over and over again. Then I recommend that you be sure to head over to IntroToCryptos.ca and sign up for the free training. We're going to be running through another run of our course coming up soon. So as a registrant for the free course, you'll be notified when the full course is starting up again next week. We'll have registration. So we have registration for a few days and then we jump right into the course again. Ba-dum-bum. Let's take an interlude. This is my computer, my 6-monitor setup here. And that about wraps it up here for today. If you've got anything else, I'm going to zoom in on this, and I know why. There we go. Still learning how to get the music working properly. There's some background music as we're fading out. I appreciate having you guys here. Thanks for joining in. Thanks Old Scott and GBU Wally for your donations. That's phenomenal stuff. And now we'll wrap it up and wish you guys all the best in your trading. I hope everybody is really going to be profitable in this cryptocurrency bull market, something that's going to change the way you interact with money, and hopefully you get enough success that you change the way you interact with every part of the rest of the world because you've got so much money. Cheers. Bye for now.